Yeah. You know, I'm back with another cut, y'all. For this cut, we're gonna do kind of like a mohawk taper ish. Y'all gonna see when I get done. Well, right now I just set my ball on there for this. Now we're going to bring the taper on the side. We're gonna make it a high taper. So I'm gonna come and just knock those hairs down on the top with a one guard open, and then I close that guard right after that. You can see I'm just going with the grain, brushing one down, and I'm all the way open now with my white FXs. Now I'm just flicking out. I want to go out about half an inch. And now I come back in below that and I'm blending it out by, I'm using all the way closed. I'm blending out the bottom, then I go halfway and I blend up to the middle. And now I'm back in with my one guard. Now you want to go all the way open, you want to just go up and just knock all that hair down. Right now I'm flicking and I'm really just using mainly my corners so I can get some real detail work in. You often don't want to use your full blade because you might cause a whole entire another guideline, and that's not what you want to do. Now I'm coming back in all the way close with that same one guard. I'm just knocking down, I'm nudging at that guideline. Now it's not going to be completely knocked off, but I'm still nudging at it. And right below that, I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my one guard, my zero guard. I'm going to come with my zero guard all the way open. Before I do that, I want to come in my one guard again. I'm just knocking down all that hair in the back because I'm going to be lining up that back hair. We want to come in as hard and as heavy as possible on that back. It's a lot of hair, it's a lot of bulk. I haven't cut them in about 2 months at this point, so as you can see, it's a lot of new growth on that lineup. I'm just brushing now. Always make sure you're brushing the hair back down so you completely see the canvas that you're working with. And I'm still just brushing it down. Now I'm back in. And I'm just flicking that out that bar line. You can see it's just fading away more and more and more. Honestly, it's almost completely done, but I just like to add a little detail work. Now I'm flicking out with that zero. And as you can see, I'm continuing to just brush down that hair. I'm getting all the little extra bulk off right there with the clipper over comb. I'm just flicking at the hair. It's really simple, y'all. Don't overthink your steps. Honestly, is what I would tell you. Don't overthink your steps. And with the same thing we did to the other side, we're going to do with this side. Now we're going to come in. We're going to set that bar line up. Now it's real simple. We just knocking out all that hair. We coming in. Now I'm really using my walls for this side. My seniors. I'm doing the same steps. Honestly, I'm coming in fully clothed and to notch it off in the middle of that bar line. And you're gonna see me, I'm keep notching up. I'm really flicking out at that guideline. You can see that heavy bulk of hair, so I'm gonna come back in with my one guard. And I'm just gonna knock them hairs down right above it, right there. Just gonna knock those hairs down. As you can see, I like to start off fully open, and then I drop down to close. And I'm just going with the grain with it. Brushing one, fading one. Brushing one, fading one. Now I'm coming, open it up, and then I'm just flicking out that line. Really trying to blend those hairs in as perfectly as possible, and I like to drop down middle and then all the way close. The lower I go, the more I close my guard in the clipper. And I'm just flicking at that line. Now, I like to use my corners. When you use your corners, you can be a lot more precise with your fade. I'm just doing a raking method with the clipper now. As you can see, I'm just flicking out at that guideline. Flicking out it more. I got my zero guard open, fully open. I'm just flicking that more, only using my corners, y'all. Remember to use your corners. Don't go fully open. Don't put the blade fully on there because you might make an entire new guideline. As you can see, I'm fully closed. Now I'm just flicking out at that bottom guideline. I'm trying to blend it in as much as possible, y'all. And I'm brushing one, not fading one. Fully open now, no guard. Just notching at that bottom line. I'm gonna close right after that also. As you can see, I just went halfway. Now I'm gonna fully close it after that. Now I just came back in with my zero guard, and I seen a couple of heavy areas, so I'm just flicking those out. Just detail work, y'all. Make sure y'all do detail work with y'all face and make it come out as clean as possible. Don't be lazy with it. Now I'm taking down that hair in the back of the ear and all in the back of my lineup for this side also. Same as the other side, exact same as the other side, as a matter of fact. Don't overthink it, y'all. When you're overthinking is when the problems come in. Now you see that front line, how much heavy hair is on that front line. I like to knock the hairs down to make for an easier and crispier lineup. You're coming in, I like to go fully open, and fully open isn't getting it low enough. I like to drop to half or completely closed. And I dropped a half on this one. I need to go completely closed. I feel like I was gonna knock off too much hair. Now you see that line up, man. We're gonna bring it all the way together now. I just like to spray it with some got to be. It's really just like a strong spritz. I use a couple other spritzes too, but this is one of my main ones. Now I just put the hair back so I can see the lineup as clear as possible. And I like to start from the middle and work my way to either side. You see how I got my gold effect, my black FXs, I mean. Great liner. If you ask me, the FX clippers are probably the best on the market right now. At least when it comes to liners. The faders is debatable, but definitely the liners. I got my rose golds. I was knocking at that corner to make that high taper as crispy as possible. You see I'm doing even more detail work with the liners. If I see little heavy areas of hair, I'm going to knock them down. As you can see, I'm trying to stay as straight as possible with that lineup, as crisp as possible with that lineup. Don't overcompensate, don't overthink it. Just go straight across, honestly. It's not as simple as that, but it's as simple as that at the same time. I'm trying to define everything. I'm trying to get liners as crispy as possible. I'm trying to make you getting out that chair and you feel like a whole new man. That's the goal, that's the plan, and that's what's gonna keep the clients coming back. I'm telling you, longevity also. You gotta make sure you brushing those hairs down to see the little overhang hairs come down so you can knock those out too. It makes the cut last longer. Clients love longevity in haircuts. No one wants to get a haircut and feel like they need to get another haircut 2 to 3 days later. It should last at least 5 days to a week if you do it properly, to where it still looks pretty crispy. As you can see, I'm doing that same detail work on that side with my liners. Now I actually came in my gold FXs. I just switched between all 3 of those. Try not to let them overheat. As you can see, the lineup is a little uneven, but we're going to come in and straighten all of that out. Don't even worry about it. This is really just a rough draft. As you can see, I'm already straightening that out with my rose golds. I'm just notching at that lineup. Don't be afraid to notch at it a couple more times if it doesn't come out perfect the first time. It very, very rarely comes out perfectly the first time. You very rarely get a perfect lineup the first go around. So I like to hit it about 2 to 3 more times after that to make sure it's as clean and crisp as possible. I'm gonna come in with my hair fibers, just darkening the hair, add definition to it. I'll apply it with the hair fiber pump. If you ask me, that's probably the only realistic way to apply the hair fibers. And I'm just brushing off the excess hair fibers on the forehead. I'm gonna come back in with that got to be to lock the hair fibers in. I'm just spraying it down with a hair fiber card. Coming in, drying that up with the blow dryer. I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna murder that line up. Simple. None too much to be seen or said, honestly. Just coming in, murdering that line up, attacking exactly how I attacked it the first time naturally. I'm coming in with my black FXs. And I'm hitting those corners. Trying to make them as 90 degree as possible. You really want to have a right angle, guys. I know you learned that in geometry. Hitting those corners. As you can see, this corner's coming out perfectly. I'm maybe actually hitting a couple extra hairs as you seen there that was on the overhang. Going with the grain with those. I'm just keeping that line up as straight and crisp as possible. As you can see, I've just about completely straightened out that line up. A lot of definition to it. And he loved the haircut when we got finished. Gave me a decent tip too. Now on that side, as you want to see, he just wanted a nice little part, something different, nothing too dramatic. Now put that part in right there, as you can see. Now with the back, like I said, he kind of likes it with just the line up in the back. I have to knock the hairs down, nothing too drastic. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna spray that spritz on there like I just did. We're just gonna come in, we're gonna line up that back in a mohawk format. I'm just knocking at those lines. I like to go around that curve. When I go around that curve above the ear, I like to pull the ear down. So that for one, I'm not cutting the ear. For two, I'm making sure I get every bit of hair above that ear as I can as possible. And the same thing I did to the right side, of course, you're gonna do to the left. Keeping it as even as possible. You like to have symmetry. Symmetry is an extreme thing, one of the most important things in barbering. If not the most important thing in barbering is to make sure you have symmetry with your haircut. You don't want anything to look uneven because then it doesn't look professional. And it doesn't look pleasing on the eye. As you can see, that front lineup is crispy, man. There's not too much I even got to say. The blend is crispy and we out. Make sure y'all subscribe, y'all. Stay tuned.